Jessica Stutzman, and welcome back to the Millcreek Government Channel. Viewers, we have a really fun show prepared for you today. The staff at the Asbury Woods Nature Center has organized a lineup of events for the summer, fall, and winter that are nature-inspired and fun for the entire family. Joining us today to fill up our social calendars with exciting seasonal programming from Asbury Woods is Executive Director Jennifer Farrar. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Well, I'm so glad you're back. We were on just a couple months ago and we were talking about a lot of things that Asbury Woods is doing, and you have so much more that you guys have really tacked onto your schedule. I don't want our viewers to miss out, so I'm really glad to have you back.
Thanks. Yeah, we have really ramped up our program.
Yes. Well, we're in the swing of things, and I do want to cover all the way into the fall and winter, just so, like I said, everybody can prepare well in advance.
Sure.
I know sometimes I can be a procrastinator when it comes to signing up for things, and so I really want to give people a lot of time to do that.
Fill in the calendar blocks and plan on it.
Yes. So tell me again what some of those upcoming programs look like. There are so many.
Sure. I mean, we are well into our summer schedule with weekly events, and weekly programming, all the things we do all summer long. But we also are planning our signature events, like our Wine and Dine in the Woods, which happens in July, which is one of our signature fundraising events for the year. And it's really just a really elegant night outside with a celebration garden, and we do some lighting and tents and food and drinks, and it's an important night for us for a fundraising focus, but it's also just another way to enjoy Asbury Woods. So that's one of our fun
the one
ones.
thing I want to touch on with Wine and Dine in the Woods, that's July 19th, and again, people do need to RSVP, is that right?
That's right, yes.
Okay.
That's one that there's a ticket price in advance.
Okay, and so the one thing I heard about last year's event that was very exciting was I think it was the food pairings with the honey pairings.
Yeah.
Can you touch a little bit on that? Because I know the employee that I work with was so excited that she actually went to the grocery store, bought all of the pairings that you shared that night, and then she did demonstrations for us during lunch. So.
That's great. So that is one of the things that, and they've been doing it for a couple years now, but pairing different honeys, which people sometimes think, well, honey's honey, but they don't realize all the different varieties and seasonalities and flavors that go into it based on what nectar and pollen the bees were doing. So we do a honey pairing with honey and cheese. So it's a really fun and popular station at Wine and Dine in the Woods. And it fits right into our mission since, pollinators and the beehives that we have there and educational programming that we do around that. So it's such a fun way to tie into our mission for that event.
Well, our cabinet at work now is stocked with all different kinds of honey, cranberry honey. We eat it on English muffins in the morning. So, that was one takeaway that she just, again, it was so interesting, but it was just a neat takeaway from that event. So
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah. And so just leading right into that, we have the honey harvest on September 21st. What is the honey harvest?
Yeah, so we do that every fall, and it's usually in September when, and it's a demonstration of how the beekeepers actually extract the honey out of the hive, and we have people from the Northwest Pennsylvania Beekeepers Association do it in partnership with us. So we have several demonstrations, and you can even kind of taste the honey right out of a hive and the honeycomb. We do some lectures, so people who are thinking about trying to do beekeeping can come to some lectures. We also do things about, maybe you don't want to take on the commitment of beekeeping, but you would do a pollinator garden and other things like that. So it's a fun one-day festival that we do every fall.
That's great. Okay, so again, honey harvest, September 21st, then moving on through the year to the Scary Creature Feature.
So Scary Creature Feature is really aimed at our younger audience. So, things like Honey Harvest, we really try and have something for every age. Scary Creature Feature is really probably a target to elementary school age, and it's sort of our, scary but not so scary Halloween type event. So it's a walk through the woods where you get to meet some nocturnal animals in the woods, and they tell you a little bit about themselves, and they're dressed in character. And really, it's an attempt to say, well, just because it's dark and these animals come out at night, they're not really so scary. So it's a fun, and there's a hayride, and we always have a company that comes and helps us carve pumpkins. So there's carved pumpkins all along the trails as well. So it's a really fun family thing for little kids.
Well, I'm excited to bring my daughter to that. And what are some of those nocturnal animals that you're referring to?
Oh boy, I think we have a bat. I think we have a I don't remember what all we have. We have 7 or 8 characters, and I know this year we are looking at switching it up a little and doing some new characters. There's an owl. Yeah, there's 7 or 8 characters along the way.
Good, good. And so Scary Creature Feature, October 10th through the 12th, and the ever popular Schoolhouse Craft Festival.
Yes, yeah. So that is an undertaking every year. I think that this year is coming up on 30 years that the Schoolhouse Craft Festival has been happening. First it was done by the Millcreek Schools PTA, and then Asbury Woods has been doing it for about 20 years now. So yeah, that's a great place to do some holiday shopping. And you know, I think that Craft Festival sort of undersells it. I mean, these are really artisans who are creating some really unique craft items and artisan wares, so it's really something to check out.
Yeah, and I was looking at your list, and I'm sure it changes from season to season, but you know, it's anything from you know, dog items to you know, different like bows for girls' hair or purses, or you know, it's a fun experience.
It is. I mean, I think last year I purchased a table, like a wood, you know, handcrafted table, furniture. I think I purchased jewelry. I purchased these wonderful, my new favorite socks, these alpaca wool socks. So I mean, that was just for me, and then I also purchased lots of gifts. So I mean, everything you can imagine was represented.
Well, and I do want to point out that the Schoolhouse Craft Festival is December 7th and the 8th, which is perfect because then it's right before the holiday season.
Yes, yeah. So before you're feeling completely rushed and last minute.
Right. Right, and they're good, you know, local made gifts.
They are.
So I always like to give those. I think they have a lot of sentimental value when they're locally made or handcrafted.
They adds that special touch to them.
And then the Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, Winter Wonderland, of course, is always popular, and we get just, you know, all ages that come out and stroll the boardwalk. We have plans this year to enhance the light display that we're doing. So we're changing some things up for people who come back year and year so that it'll look new and fresh. And we're adding some days to Winter Wonderland as well this year, because it's just, we get such a big crowd night after night. So we're expanding the number of days that we're offering it. So hopefully everyone gets a chance to get there.
And you'll have to make sure you take a lot of photos, because we love featuring Winter Wonderland in the Millcreek calendar.
Oh, absolutely.
So we always make it one of our December displays for the calendar. And again, the photos are beautiful, and everybody has a really good time. And so getting back to summer, so now we've covered all the way through winter. Getting back to summer, because finally it's here. The Drop-In and Discover program is all summer long. What do those events look like?
Yeah, so Drop-In and Discover is every Saturday morning, and we do that all year round actually. And it's just a rotating schedule of different themes and ideas, all having to do something to do with environmental stewardship or the outdoors or nature. So it's different parts of the nature center, or it might be outside on summer days. So yeah, it's just every week it's a new theme, and it's a half-hour free little program. So it's a fun way a good excuse to get out of the house on a Saturday morning.
Right. So we should go to the class, and then we can head out and explore Asbury Woods afterwards.
Exactly, yes.
And your summer camp is so popular. Do you have any spaces left open for the summer camp series?
We do have spaces still available for summer camp, and if there's one you're interested in, we do have waiting lists as well. So we have a system in place this year that if someone cancels and you're on the wait list, you automatically get slotted in. But yeah, we have a wonderful summer camp lineup, 9 weeks of summer camp again. And we've really tried to enhance our middle school camps this year with some really neat and different topics. Because so many of the kids come in elementary school for sort of the classic nature camp experience, and we wanted to give them a little deeper experience for that middle school age.
And speaking of the ages, the way that they're grouped, ages 4 to 6, and then 1st to 5th grade, 6th to 8th grade, and 9th to 12th grade. And we know again, these kids are showing up, daily to these camps. What happens if there's bad weather? Do you stay inside? Do they not come to the camp? How does inclement weather work for you guys?
Sure. Well, at Asbury Woods, we're all weather, all seasons, all weather. So camp goes on no matter the weather, but we'll, of course, adjust our activities. So one of the classic things that people love about summer camp is we do the hike to Buttermilk Falls. So we watch the weather and we adjust that day for the hike if we need to. But no, our education team always has plenty of fun ideas for indoor if those bad weather days occur.
And what should kids plan on wearing? Hiking boots or rain boots, or what should kids wear to the summer camp experience?
They're old clothes, they're play clothes. Yeah, things they don't mind getting dirty. So old sneakers, it's probably the best. So they'll be best for indoors and outdoors. But play clothes, don't bring anything that you're not going to be sad if it gets a little bit muddy.
I know. With my daughter, I think we're just going to go outside and we're just going to play on the slide, or we're just going to play, on the rock wall or something like that. And, without fail, we sit in the dirt and we, play in the mud. And I thought, oh, I should have changed her outfit before we went outside.
Yeah,
so I'm still learning.
Or you can't take them near water and think they're not going to be completely wet head to toe, right?
Oh, gosh, yes, the water everywhere. And so, again, you started last summer an outdoor music series that went really well. So it's continuing this year. Tell me a little bit more about that outdoor music series.
Sure, yeah, Monday Music in the Woods. Last year we started with 4 concerts, one each month, May through September, and we had such great feedback from it. And in working with our staff planning it and working with some of our sponsors who are helping to fund that, we really decided we need to find a way to expand it. So we're doing it 7 Mondays in a row this summer, starting in June and then through July. So talk about the perfect setting with the woods as the backdrop, and some food trucks on site, and Lavery Brewing's coming this year, and they'll be donating back $1 for every pint they sell, donating that back to Asbury Woods. So just a really fun and festive atmosphere.
And I think I saw a footnote that said the Nature Center will stay open longer those nights.
Yeah.
Is that right?
We'll stay open through the concert. So, whether you're coming for the music or it just happens to work for your schedule to visit the Nature Center evening hours, we're glad we can offer those extended hours on those nights for families.
And just, again, always sticking with the nature theme, you have coming up an Inspired by Nature art exhibition. Yeah. That I saw so many fun events centered around this activity. So what is the art exhibition, and what do we plan to see there?
Yeah, well, when you think about it, when you think about all artistic forms, so many artistic expressions have been inspired by the natural world and the outdoors, and we think it's just another way we can, implement our mission of environmental awareness and sustainability, because when people see the outdoors and nature presented in an artistic form, and you sort of see the beauty in a different way. So we think it's another way we can sort of inspire that environmental stewardship. So we're doing it at the barn on Sterotania Road, at Brown's Farm Barn, which is, a part of our property that people recognize the barn. Maybe they park there to go hiking, but they not always haven't been in the barn. So it's a great space to do a nature art exhibition. We've been working with regional artists. I think we have up to 11 recruited right now. All kinds of mixed media, so from sculpture, paintings, photography, some fiber artists. So all kinds of different ways that we can view nature through an artistic lens.
And there is an opening reception for this event kickoff?
Yeah, there is. So the neat part of this is that we have an art camp, a middle school art camp, that's going to be working with the artist Ron Bayuzik to create an outdoor sculpture at Brown's Farm Barn, outside the barn. That is their art camp experience and project. So art camp ends on Friday, and Friday night is the opening reception, so the pressure's on them to create something amazing. But we'll be doing an opening reception for the exhibition, and that will be one of the key pieces in it, is that art camp, what they created, that art camp with Ron. So.
And the other things I see, again, just surrounding the exhibition, soap carving, and art talk. inspired by nature gallery talk and land art.
Yeah. So I mean, to us, it's not, it's one thing to do a neat exhibition, but we're an educational organization as well. So we really tried to put together some programming that tied those two things together, the nature and the art. And of course, the exhibition's free. There's no charge to come. We want people to just come and experience it. But yeah, the programming will be another fun aspect for people to view the exhibition and then do some additional learning on top of that.
Is this the first time an art exhibition has been held by Asbury Woods, or is this something that you guys have done in the past as well?
I know that they have done some art displays in the past at the Nature Center. This is the first time we're doing it at the barn, an art exhibition, but last summer we actually did a fossil exhibition in the barn.
I remember that.
Yeah, so we're trying to carry on that theme of using the barn for some kind of programming like that.
Well, I'm really excited. And I love fossils, so that was a great exhibition you did last year. I think art again is so inspiring, and I think a lot of times, again, even I'm not a good painter, but I can appreciate all of the artwork and again just the rock sculptures. They're just so talented. It's really amazing. So I'm excited to see that, and then what you guys come up with for next year.
Yeah, well, we're already working on it, so stay tuned.
Good. And so just talking a little bit more about the property, the Asbury Woods Boardwalk adjacent to the Nature Center is a key feature of the property, and you're going to be replacing that over time here.
We are.
Why are you replacing it, and when residents come, is it going to be vastly different, or is it going to look the same but just an upgrade?
Yeah. So the boardwalk is, it's some people, that's kind of what their vision of Asbury Woods is. They remember the boardwalk. So the first iteration of it was done in 1972. They completed another one in 1992. So, we're 27 years or whatever in. So it's old and unsafe in places, and it's slippery. And so it's just time for it to be replaced. And this iteration of it is all going to be ADA compliant. So it'll be wider. It'll be 8 feet wide to accommodate wheelchairs. It'll have handrails on both sides, the appropriately sloped ramps for on and off for access. The actual footprint of it is going to be very similar to the current boardwalk, but there is going to be one new section as well. So it will be a replacement plus a small expansion that we're really excited about, because that expansion is leading to a teaching deck over a swampy area, which our school curriculum uses heavily, some of the swampy areas for their lessons. And so this will be a beautiful new teaching deck that's covered and has electrical outlets and benches, and all the things that you need to teach these lessons will be in that new swamp deck. So teaching deck over the swamp. So yeah,
and how was
it's a huge
this
project.
I was going to say, I'm sure this was financially a large undertaking. Were you able to find grant funding, or did all of the fundraisers that all the fundraisers you hold every year, did that help contribute to this expansion and really just the renovation of the boardwalk?
Yeah, so the boardwalk project was part of the capital campaign that was done, the Preserving a Legacy capital campaign that was done to raise money for the partnership to purchase the property in the Nature Center. And then it specifically was raising money to do some renovation projects and some capital projects. So the boardwalk replacement was one of the targeted projects through that campaign. So, it's just been a process. They raised the money, but it's been a process of working with architect on design and contractors and bids. So that's how we're funding it, was from those generous campaign donations.
Oh, good. Okay. And as far as just talking about the features on site at Asbury Woods, I know that you have a Little Woods play area. What is this?
Sure. So behind the Nature Center is a fun little area that is fenced off, and it's called the Little Woods, and it's targeted as sort of a enclosed nature play area, nature exploration area for some of our smallest visitors. So it gives them a place that's contained to let them sort of freely explore. And it's beautiful. It's so whimsical, because it's lined with all these wonderfully painted bluebird boxes. So yeah, it's a fun little spot for our little visitors to get dirty and flip over some rocks and pick up sticks and things like that.
I went on your website, and again, I'm always looking for places to take my daughter. And so the one thing I find challenging being an adult is sometimes as you get older, you lose your creativity. And so you provided this excellent list. I think it has 60 different ideas on helping your child experience and explore nature. And again, sometimes I feel like I just scratched the surface, but these 60 ideas that you've provided, could you help list off some of those? Because I just think, again, as a new mom, to me, they were like, wow, why didn't I think of that? And, you know, I just need to get myself back in kid mode.
Right, yeah. I mean, the thing is right, it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes kids are excited just to lay on the ground and look at the sky, you know, or to flip over rocks and see what's underneath, or stack a rock, or pick up a stick, or try and break a stick, or walk on a log. I mean, it really can be simple. Sometimes we have all these elaborate toys, you know, it's the classic toy and they play with the box, you know? So, you know, rather than do the toy, just take them outside, and they're gonna sort of, their natural curiosity is gonna take over. And yeah, sometimes it's hard for us adults to be like, don't touch that, you're gonna get hurt, be careful. And if you just let it be and sometimes just follow their lead, you know? So.
Yeah, no, such great ideas on here. Splash in the water. Like you said, I mean, you know, you're gonna get water everywhere, but like that's okay. Yeah. So splash in the water. I read another one where it said stack rocks together and pour water over top and make a waterfall. I loved that. Watch ants. How simple is that to do? Or just watch bugs. We just love watching ladybugs. So jump in a puddle. Search for spider webs.
Right, yeah.
These are all such creative ideas for little kids, but they're things that, you know, as adults we overlook, I think, every day.
And I think sometimes, because a lot of these things, I think sometimes they're at kid level, and we forget because we're up here, you know, so we're not seeing the same things they are. So sometimes the simple act of just getting on the ground or sitting on the ground with them, and we're seeing the world through their eyes, sort of opens our eyes to like, oh, let's check that out, because now I'm seeing it like they're seeing it. So I think that's a lot behind these ideas. I remember my son when he was little bringing home a poem that said, "Mommy, I'll teach you to play on this Mother's Day." And I thought, how perfect, because yeah, our kids do remind us how to appreciate these simple things and get joy out of sticks and rocks and nature and all the things that are already there provided for us.
Right. And you know, I think a lot of times we're always connected via the internet or our cell phones, or we're always on a schedule. And I definitely can fall into that trap too. So, you know, I really liked this list. I definitely encourage all of our viewers to check out this list online. There's gorgeous maps of Asbury Woods. Again, if you don't know the trail system, there are maps online as well. So even if you don't know where to start, your website is just a fantastic wealth of information on just how to get outside, and you know, just block off an hour of your time, and you can do half of this list or all of the list. But
it's a summer bucket, a summer list.
It is. I'm taking this list back with me, and we're going to do this maybe for Mother's Day. So, but yeah, I really appreciate that, and I appreciate all the ideas again that your staff give to the people who come to Asbury Woods. So, and then the other thing I thought was really, really neat were the themed birthday parties. They are eco-themed. What are some of those themes, and how do birthday parties work at Asbury Woods? Because I remember the standard, you know, let's go to the skating rink or to, the pool, or I love this. This is so different.
Yeah. So our birthday parties, they're very popular. We do them Saturdays and Sundays typically. You can bring all your own food and drinks and all the things that you want to do. So we schedule it so that you have some time on your own to do food and gifts and whatever you want to do. But then each theme has some planned activities, and usually there's some kind of animal show involved, because that's just one of the things that all kids sort of can bond over and relate to is when we do the animal shows. Then each theme usually has some kind of outdoor exploration activity attached to it as well. So yeah, they're really cool, and our education staff is just the best at making it magical and really making it come alive, making that theme come alive for the birthday kid and their guests.
And we have the brochure here on the table for all of the themes, and I'm going to run through them quickly because I really thought they were really innovative, really creative ideas. Eco Pirates on the wild side, Scaly Tales, Nature Fairies and Wizards, Wacky Science, Nature Art, Snow Stompin', and Campfire Birthday. And these range from anywhere from ages 4 to 11. So they're just so interesting, so fantastic. I think for you want to have your birthday parties be fun, but these are also really, really educational too.
Right, yes, they are. So they combine the best of both worlds, and it makes it really easy we make it easy on the parents, of course, and then it sort of is a natural place that, after the party you see a little group saying, oh, well, let's go take a walk, while we're here, and things like that.
How fast do those days book up in advance? Do we have to call, a couple months ahead of time, 6 months ahead of time?
I would say usually you're probably okay if you call 3 or 4 months ahead of time.
Okay.
Typically.
Okay. Mine's a little too young for those, but I will say as soon as she is the right age, we will be calling.
Something. Yes, wonderful.
And what other projects can people support right now going on at Asbury Woods?
Sure. Well, some of the projects we always have going on is always recruiting volunteers. That is, just always happening, because as we've been talking about how many things we have going on, volunteer support, all of that. We also have a wonderful part of our property called the Celebration Garden that is really a way to memorialize or honor a loved one or a friend or someone special in your life, and with some leaves and tiles through our garden. So, we have a lot of calls of people who tell us how Asbury Woods was a very special place to their family or a loved one, and they want to somehow have their name somewhere at Asbury Woods. So our Celebration Garden is a wonderful way to support Asbury Woods, but also honor that family member's connection to Asbury Woods.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Again, how can people get in touch with Asbury Woods? Phone number or email or website?
Yeah, sure. So people can get in touch with us all those ways. 835-5356 is our main phone number. Of course, we have a website, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, so there's no shortage of ways to get in touch with us and ask questions.
Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Viewers, again, I really hope you grabbed your calendars and you're writing these dates down. Of course, these are all online and on their Facebook and on their website, and they're just really, really fun activities, and no matter what age you are, you're going to have fun at Asbury Woods. So I want to thank you for tuning in to this show with the Millcreek Government Channel, and until next time, have a great day.